My husband, 33M, saves his best self for other people and it's upsetting me, 32F. For a while now my husband has been too comfortable in our relationship. When I met him he was such a lovely, charming, attentive guy which was the reason I fell in love with him. Then after some years I have learnt that he's a bit of an introvert because he uses up all his charm and energy for other people he doesn't know so well and he gets home exhausted and wants to be on his own and not give me much love or attention. He justifies this saying that's just who he is and he struggles to find the energy to be the same with me at home behind closed doors, but this really hurts me. I've explained why it upsets me but we seem to be at a stalemate. Any advice? This could be me writing this. This reminded me of my ex-husband's behavior. He barely spoke to me but spoke the whole night with his friends while playing video games. I kept looking for his attention but the answer was always the same. We both worked from home, and his excuse to not having to talk to me was that we lived together, we were in the same house all day and all night. It was a deal breaker for me since I always felt alone and stopped looking for him eventually. We split and got divorced since we were unable to work on our communication issues. He said we didn't have a communication issue and I was always talking, alone, pensive face. What about weekends? Planned date nights? Vacations together? I can understand him using up all of his energy during the workday, but there has to be a way to compromise in other circumstances. My father was like this. Super gregarious and outgoing with everybody else, but he was scary at home with just the family. I wouldn't suggest having children with this man if there aren't any already. Out of curiosity, do you work or are you a stay-at-home partner? It's not his best self, it's him pretending. What you see at home is his real self. I am an introvert. I have limited social energy. I can choose whom to use it on. Not sure I would pick strangers over my wife. That's just me though. Gotta be real. I dated a guy like this and it was upsetting to me too. Suddenly around other people he wanted to talk about politics? Or whatever. TBH, you're prob his piece. I would say talk to him about it. Maybe choose an activity together that you can spend time but don't need to be on. If he shows disinterested in you, your life, or you feel like you are alone, that's the red flag. My GF F19 wants me to do oral to her without protection but won't do oral to me without protection? I, M19, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend for about 1.5 years. We've been sexually active for a year with each other. I would always use protection when eating her out. It's not her fault but it's a big hurdle for me to overcome hygienic-wise. She asked me to do it without protection and eat her out. So I do because it brings her more pleasure. She also has a problem with giving me oral without protection. Even after asking she won't give it without protection. Would it be reasonable for me to use protection again when eating her out or would that be petty? Edit. Female protection is a dental dam. TD. LRI give oral without protection after she asked she won't give me oral without protection after I asked. STD testing as a compromise or as protection and not tasting dick thing for her. So what I'm getting from the comments and replies is that, you're both in a long-term monogamous relationship. You have both been tested and are not a risk for STIs for each other. And generally, other than her peeing immediately before oral, have no hygienic issues. I'm almost wondering if there's a conversation you two could be missing. For example, are you two truly sexually attracted to each other? Are you just doing this for each other? Do you enjoy doing alternative stuff with each other rather than oral? The way you seem to describe giving oral as like an obligation, it should be something you want and she wants to do. If not, there's frankly other things you two can figure out. But this is something you two need to have a serious conversation about. Why are you both having oral sex if you both think it's gross? It doesn't sound like there's any need to do it at all. How do you eat pussy with protection? Serious question. I don't see how that's possible. My brain can't process that information. I might get downvoted for this. I enjoy giving head, but semen is just revolting me. I can't help it. It makes me want to gag. I'd gobble my partner's cock all day if he used protection, not because I'm worried about safety, but because it would keep the cum out of my mouth. Maybe she just has a problem with the bodily fluids. I'm not sure why you two need the protection. If you both have worries, go get an STD checkup. And if you're clean, then do it without the protection. It is pretty but it isn't wrong, all should be fair in my opinion. It shouldn't be a chore guys lol. GF cheated. I have video proof. So last night my girlfriend went out to a club with her friends. We are LDR. And when she returned she called me. I work Asian shifts so I am up during the night. She told me that she flirted a little with the friend of a guy her friend was interested in. I didn't like it, but she told me that they didn't exchange numbers or anything, so I was like, whatever, drunk people do weird stuff. It's nothing too serious. But today morning a friend of mine sent me a video which shows my girlfriend sitting on the guy's lap and his hands were on her thighs. That's not flirting, it's far removed from that. My girlfriend doesn't know that I have this video. My question is this: do I just ghost her, or we have detailed breakup where there is a potential for tears and drama? I was leaning more towards ghosting but wanted to ask some advice before acting. Don't ghost. Send her the video and then block her, you don't have to say anything. She definitely cheated, and then lied about it. Send her the video, block and delete her number, cut all contact with her is exactly what I would do. Ghosting is stupid. Be an adult and tell her you know what really happened, and then dump her. JFC, how old are you guys that ghosting is a thing for relationships? Be the better person. Send her the video and tell her bye-bye. I recommend being exactly what she wasn't. Be upfront, straightforward, and honest. Tell her exactly what you know and how you feel about it. You don't owe her anything, but for what it's worth, my advice is to treat her how you would have liked to have been treated, openly and honestly. I mean, if my girlfriend was sitting on a guy's lap at a bar for a minute or so, I probably wouldn't freak out. But everybody's relationship is different and your feelings are valid. I don't recommend ghosting her or acting strange around her. Show her how immature, responsible adult acts. Clearly she doesn't have much of an idea. Don't ghost like a coward. Talk to her face to face and tell her it's over. Lol, why would you ghost her? What a weird go-to. Just tell her you saw a video which showed what it showed and you don't want to be together anymore. It's literally that simple. My guy doesn't want me to be friends with my ex. 36 female. Dating a guy, 39 male, for 6 months. We're old enough that we know this is the real deal. Talked about our futures together and taking it slow, making sure our feelings are long-lasting. I'm lucky he's in my life and he feels the same. I broke up with my ex, 38 male, of 3.5 years last year, but we're still friends. We weren't compatible as a romantic couple and I was at my worst with him. I'm in therapy now, as is he. But let's just say we saw each other at both of our lowest points mentally. I have no romantic feelings for him, but he's helped me through so much, so I feel indebted to do the same for him. He is like family to me, which means so much because I'm not close with my bio family. The problem? My guy, 39 male, hates that I'm friends with my ex. It's come up random times and this is the only arguments we have. My guy has tried so hard to understand, but I can tell it eats at him. His friends tell him I'm not over my ex. He told me he won't tell me what to do, but he's the type that will never talk about, cut off all past relationships, never wants to think about it again. But here's the deal. I don't why, but I don't want to give up this friendship with my ex. I feel connected to him. I don't know he feels the same way, but it doesn't matter to me. If I keep up this friendship, it may ruin my relationship. This might be the hill my guy will die on, but he doesn't get there can be a compromise we both haven't thought of yet. Too long did not read. My current boyfriend picks fights about my current friendship with an ex. It's not about trust because he knows I would never cheat on him. Sounds like you probably have a trauma bond with your ex to some degree because of your history. I would suggest really exploring the reason your ex's friendship is important to you. Is he adding value to your life now, or is it the bond of what you've been through right now? And then based on that answer have a really candid conversation with your boyfriend, maybe even a mediated one, so you can both say how you feel and decide what your mutual values are moving forward. TBH, this would be the hill I would die on. If your friendship with your ex is more important than your relationship with your boyfriend, then you need to break it off, or don't be surprised when he does. I am with your boyfriend on this one. To remain cordial is one thing, but you talk about your ex like his place in your life is as important or more important than your current boyfriend's. You don't sound over him at all. I don't understand why you would keep a relationship that didn't work, for a possible future relationship. All my exes are dropped immediately, no contact, nothing. I am totally understand your boyfriend's view, however I wouldn't have an argument over it. I would just decide not to date you. Mostly because I wouldn't want to deal with that emotional baggage. I think you should do him a solid and end the relationship, because your ex is more valuable than your current relationship. Sounds like you are emotionally cheating and trying to justify it. You share a great deal of intimacy with your ex. Drop the ex. No good will ever come from this. Seriously. Yeah. I am with your boyfriend on this one. Kind of related. My girlfriend who I see a life with, we're older, is in several support group meetings with her exes, and because of the subject matter discussed at these meetings, it really bothers me. She knows it does but won't find other meetings citing her boundaries. I just have to suck it up and take it and choose to trust her and try to ignore it. I'm sure there's nothing there but that said, it does sting. She knows it does but no movement on changing to bigger and better meetings. I would suggest to you that he's an ex for a reason. Leave the past in the past and move on, especially if you see a future with this guy. Otherwise ask yourself why you really want to be friends with this ex. Good luck.